The Chaunce Hayden Show is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfq.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at FreshBooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ. Location provided by Sapphire New York. Visit them at nysapphire.com.
You think you have me all down, you think you have me, I will always be one step ahead.
Don't hurt me, for real. Ah! Ah! Look at her teeth! No, she has fangs! I'm not even kidding! Ah! 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 Oh God! Oh God! Oh my God! Are you insane? Hey everybody! Welcome to the Chaunce Hayden Show on the GFQ Network. We're broadcasting live from the Sapphire Gentlemen's Club in New York City in the VIP room, the world's greatest gentlemen's club. Tonight we have so much to talk about. It's going to be impossible to fit it in just 1 hour, so we may have to go to 2 hours, Andrew. I know it's going to piss you off, but we may have to tonight. We have on the show Anthony Picone from the band The Benjamins, who's become a filmmaker, and he's got something that's an exclusive just for the GFQ network tonight. We're going to show clips of a TV show that he's produced with his wife. It's called Superfan, and I don't know much about it beyond that. We're going to talk to him, but I know it has something to do with the rock scene in New Jersey, which if you're a fan of Bon Jovi or Springsteen or some of the other huge acts that have come out of the Garden State, we're going to talk to Anthony about it. So I'm actually looking forward to that interview because I've been a fan of his band for years and never had a chance to meet him. So he's here with his beautiful wife, who's so hot she could be a model of the week for stepping out. And I think we're supposed to do, I don't know, we'll get into it. Also on the show and co-hosting with me tonight, you can't go wrong having a model on the show. Andrew gets so mad when I bring in beautiful girls to sit in with me. But we have a girl who's a model named Apryl Evans who has modeled for me in my basement and survived, believe it or not. So there aren't, yeah, she's one of the few that have lived to tell the story. And I always love having models that have been down to my basement and actually have put on a stepping out shirt because it's such a weird thing when that happens. And so just to get some feedback from her of what that's like and just on the whole rest of the show, she's gorgeous. So she's going to sit here with us tonight and chime in whenever she feels like it. And if she survived my basement, she will most definitely survive tonight. I guarantee it. I promise you.
The Gentlemen's Club. Where are you bringing me?
I know. You must think I'm the biggest sleaze bag in the world. You have to think I'm a sleaze bag. No. Anything associated with me has to do with nudity, taking the clothes.
He is a sleaze bag.
No, when you came to my house, and I believe, let me just talk about this for 1 second because there's so much I have to talk about, and I don't want the time to run. So time me, guys. 15 minutes, stop me, because we have so much to do. I can't ramble. But I got to ask you, Apryl. So you come to my house in New Jersey, and I do most of my model shoots in my basement. And when I describe what I do and how I do it, if I was just telling you the story, you would think I'm the world's biggest perv and its body's buried, in some sort of cubby hole somewhere. When you come to my house by yourself and you came alone, and you see a pair of scissors, duct tape on my table in a dark basement with all that alcohol, don't you think you're going to die? Is there any point where you think I'm not going to survive this? Or, and please, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Is there a code number? Does somebody know where you are that you can hit a button if things go horribly wrong?
Well, first of all, as a model and a singer, I've been to like the strangest photo shoots in the world. And the fact that like, I know your name, I know the magazine. So I'm like, okay, this is probably fine. But yes, my best friend is always on call whenever I go anywhere by myself. I'm like, this is where I'm going. And if you don't hear from me, by such and such a time.
So if I got weird, there'd be police in my house, like really fast. Right? Am I wrong?
No. I'd be like,
so I could have killed you? So were you saying I could have gotten away with it?
Maybe. Because it's just like, I'm like, if you don't hear from me by 11 o'clock, then maybe come find me. So
Because
by that time,
I gotta be honest, I feel creepy. There's so many shoots. I have girls come down to my basement, and I'm creeped out by it. I'm like, oh my god, what?
Didn't she just do a photo shoot with an 18-year-old girl, and she had to bring the boyfriend as backup to the beach?
Jeez.
Yeah, we
That's a
discussed
little
that.
bizarre.
She's about the Russian girl Dasha, but I was glad she brought the. See, I prefer that the models bring somebody, because it's so weird for me when a hot girl comes down into my basement in my home, and I have to sit there with scissors cutting shirts, and I'm duct taping things, and because you got to duct tape when you're shooting models. There are times when you need duct tape.
For the backdrop?
No, to shut them up.
Oh,
to muffle their screams.
Nice.
Something to do with the backdrop. That has nothing to do with anything. No, you need certain things. And when a girl, and I'm shocked that women come alone and will come down to the basement. I mean, I'm legit. I'm totally legit. As you know, you survived. Was there any moment where you felt like I was not a professional?
Not at all.
And don't I keep my distance? Like we don't get too close. I make sure that you know exactly what's going on. Is there ever that awkward moment where you're like,
No, and I've been on shoots where there's been that awkward moment,
Right.
and I was like, "Oh, please don't hug me," you know.
Yeah,
and
I actually
there
cut-
was none of that. So.
There are times I'll cut the stepping out shirt for a girl, because all those stepping out shirts, we cut V-necks in them and we cut them above their belly. I'll put it on a girl and it won't look right, and she'll say, "Oh no, just take the scissors and cut it." I won't even take scissors and cut the shirt while she's wearing it, because I'm so nervous that she's going to think I touched her inappropriately. I mean, I'm terrified of that. Right? Total pro.
No, it was like completely professional. Trust me, like I said, I've been on some strange shoots, and I'm like, why?
What's
did I
the
come
weirdest thing
alone?
ever happened to you on a shoot where you thought that it was going to get crazy?
Well, I'd say actually the weirdest thing that ever happened to me was I auditioned for a band, and it was in the basement.
Was that band called the Benjamins?
No.
I just had to ask. I'm sorry.
And they were having their rehearsal, and they gave me this address. Now I'm like, this was like, oh my God, I must have been like 19 years old. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to this audition. And they give me an address, and I'm thinking, okay, it's a studio. No. First of all, there's like a red light on outside their house, and it's like this dumpy house. And I go in the basement, and it was like Creep City. They're like sitting there, and there's like paraphernalia.
Why would you go there alone?
everywhere.
Why would you do that?
Because I was 19.
You're
and
gonna die.
stupid.
You're gonna die. Well, you came to my house alone, and I could be a complete psychopath. I could have killed you.
I mean, look at him. Honestly.
There were times
He's not a trustworthy man,
Honest
by
to
looking at
God,
him.
there were times I feel like I should kill the model just to teach her a lesson. There are some models I feel like I need to kill them just to make an example, and so others won't make the same
How about
mistake.
that group of girls when you called into my show? There was like a whole.
But they were with their pimp. Like
that was bizarre.
That was bizarre.
He calls into my
I
show.
actually had
Can I tell the story?
go ahead.
Am I allowed?
Yeah, go ahead.
With the jukebox?
Yeah.
He calls into the show, and there's something weird. Like, the girl doesn't speak English, and she keeps calling the jukebox
The
the
language
jukebox.
is called Russian.
It wasn't Russian. Jukebox is English, but not appropriate.
Jukebox.
She keeps calling it. She goes, "Oh, Chauncey has a jukebox." I'm like, "What is he keeping in this jukebox?"
Jews.
She goes, "Obviously, he's keeping the Jews." I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
Jukebox.
I had to end the segment. I'm like, I don't know what's going on there. There's something really fucked up.
No,
I
that
gotta
was a
end
weird.
this.
That was a weird night. I'm not going to say the name of the company because they actually run ads in the magazine. But this fellow who runs this particular company asked if he could bring some of his employees down for a photo shoot. I didn't know much about the company. I soon found out what kind of guy. It was a weird. Listen,
They make
listen,
jukeboxes.
Can we please? They make jukeboxes.
But-
I don't want to get into it. But it was weird.
Isn't it weird for you though, with the models coming into your basement? Like you don't
Yes.
know who's coming in.
It is. Oh, it is weird. And sometimes they come with their boyfriends, and I think I'm going to be murdered. I've had some creepy dudes come down to my basement. I actually had a 18-year-old girl come with her dad, with her father, and she just had implants done. She had these huge breasts. And I'm shooting her, and it's awkward enough that her father is there watching me shoot his 18-year-old daughter half naked in my basement. But when he said, as I'm shooting her, "Honey, can you lift your shirt up so we can see some tit underneath? Because I pay for those fucking things, and I want to see more skin." It doesn't get any weirder than that. her father is telling her to lift her shirt up
Ew.
above, like just below her nipple, so we can see more of her breast because he paid for them and thinks they should be seen. Yeah, the ooh factor there is so bad. So I've had so many moments. I've had moments where I felt like I was going to call the police and have women taken out of the house. I had one girl started screaming at me because I wouldn't drive her home to Hoboken. She had a cab take it to my house. And I'm like, well, we did the shoot. I'm like, thank you for coming. You know, it's been great. I'm trying to walk it to the front door. She goes, well, I need a ride home. I'm like, and so do you need the phone?
How
Do you need
far
to
are
call
you from Hoboken? I mean,
it's like 40 minutes.
Oh, it's a
you know?
drive,
But I'm
yeah.
not gonna drive someone to Hoboken. I mean, I'm just not doing it, especially like that. It was
have
too
you
weird.
have you ever been in a situation you said, "Wow, this is going to get really bad"?
This was that situation. She starts screaming at me in my house, threatening to start breaking things if I don't drive her home. It was so fucked up. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Did you drive her?
No, I called a cab. I paid $80 for a cab on my credit card to take
Did
her
you
home.
run the pictures?
Like that's somebody I
the
wanted to kill. No, I
question.
never ran the pictures. I had another girl come down. This is a true story. Comes limping down my steps down to my basement. And we got to do a show from my basement one day. She comes limping down my steps to my basement. And she's so pretty, really pretty girl. And she has jeans on. And I'm like, well, what did you bring to wear? What do you want to wear besides a stepping out shirt? She goes, would you mind if I just wear my jeans? I'm like, no, that's fine. But is there a reason? Like, are you shy? Are you embarrassed? Why do you just want to wear jeans? And she says, because I only have one leg, and my fake leg will come off if I take my jeans off. And she did.
Where did you
She was
find
missing
her?
her leg all the way up to her hip.
Where'd
She had
you
no
find
leg.
her?
She showed me. She sent me a picture, and she was gorgeous. And she said, I didn't know if I told you I had one leg, I thought you wouldn't use me, so I didn't want to say anything. I've had so many bizarre things in my basement. But anyway, April, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're alive. And I'm glad you lived to tell the story. And for the record,
Absolutely, me
I am a normal human being. I'm not a sicko.
Yes, you are.
All right. The other thing I want to talk about before we get into the show, and Andrew, this is directed. I'm preparing for the show today, and I'm sitting in front of my computer. I'm taking notes, and I'm realizing that 90% of the show is about Andrew.
Why?
I realize I hate you. I actually didn't know it until I started preparing for the show today, and I literally don't even need any guests. I could do the whole show just about how much I dislike you. And this is look at that. See his smile right now. See that smile? This is the smile
I know he dislikes me.
This is the smile. Take a look at that smile. Take a mental picture of it because I'm going to refer to it in a second. Look at it. See it? See it? Smile. Why? And I've noticed this over the last several weeks. Why every time when we have a guest and the guest seems to like me, do you have to bring up my age? You do it.
When did I do this?
Every damn week. You don't.
With who?
You don't
Who did
say,
I do
you
this
don't
with?
say my age.
The fact that you're
No. What you say is this. This is
What'd
how
I
you
say?
do it. This is how you do it. You go. All right. Can I give you an example? Because I took last week. I actually wrote it down because I didn't want to forget. You say, "Ready?" Well, Chauncey, your generation. You'll say, or you'll say, Chauncey, like a guy your age.
Yeah, I say.
You say that a lot, like a guy your age, like, and you start, and then you give me that grin, and then you say that, so you make sure that the guest knows that I'm older than she is, and then you look at me dead in the eye and you smile with that grin.
First of all, every
So I know
girl
you're doing it on purpose.
you're
I know
interested
it's
in is
calculated.
18, so automatically you're older.
Yeah, but you have to make it a point. You want to tell them.
I don't think you're fooling anybody.
But you're trying to tell. You have to make it a point of the show. Like it becomes part of the show. Like you're not going to leave this room until they know that I'm much older than they are.
First of all, the two guests last week, you wanted to be involved with them?
No.
Okay.
But you've done it.
I was saving you.
You've done it. Yeah. But you've done it every week for the last several weeks.
I have. I like to bring up the fact
Yeah,
that
but
you're...
Why do you do that? You do it on a psychotic level.
Oh, because I dislike you.
But why does
I
it
mean,
come
it's
up? Why is it even on your mind?
Because I'll tell you why.
Why is it even on your mind?
You make my life miserable. Wednesday morning comes. I'm sick. Because I don't know what the hell's going on with your show. I don't know who the guest is. Thank God you have a good show today.
That
But
was
that's
dur-
because-
that was,
that's because
that
this
was
morning-
during your time. That's another thing you say. Oh, during your time.
During your time. No, because every week, God knows what's happening. Shauna knows what I'm talking about because we've had meetings about you constantly.
But you
about what is Chauncey going to do this week? Who is he bringing in the studio? Is it going to be a liability? And am I going to get sued?
So this is like a passive aggressive way for you to get even with me, is to make sure that
Everyone knows that you are.
guest knows that I'm too old for her. Basically,
Yeah, I'm saving
you're
you,
like
actually.
you're like the world's greatest cock blocker.
Actually,
I've never.
I'm
You
doing
really
you a
are
favor.
a cock blocker.
What happened last time?
I will never get laid
Wait a
in your
minute.
presence.
What happened
never
last
get laid
time?
in your. There's no way I will ever get laid if you're in the room. You've made that so clear, and he smiles while he does it. He look at it, do that smile. There it is.
This
See the
one?
smile?
Yeah.
That's the smile while he does it. See it?
Wait a minute. When I did not get involved,
Shauna,
what happened?
are you showing the
what
smile?
No,
Are you
no,
showing
no.
it?
Well, Shauna, what happened when I didn't get involved?
You can't even hold
And
it
he
back.
did get laid. Something bad.
Wait, I want to hear
But
this.
she wasn't a guest on the show. That was not a guest on the show.
But I did try to cockblock you with that at my photo shoot. Do you remember?
You did, but
Yeah.
that was too late at that point.
Yeah.
What happened?
No, that's for another show.
Oh.
Boy.
Anyway, I just want you to know that I'm aware of what you're doing.
He really makes me very uncomfortable. Like Chauncey, I love the guy. Like I really do. I love Chauncey, but Wednesday morning I'm so uncomfortable. Where I'm sick.
Back
And
pain.
I'm hoping-
you say it's back pain. Whenever I ask how you're doing, I have back
Like
pain.
I literally have to take a handful of Vicodin just to get out of bed on Wednesdays because I know I'm gonna have to deal with the show. It's a fact. I really hope something tragic happens on Wednesday, so I don't have to come.
to keep you from coming here and
keep me
having to
from
deal
coming
with
here.
this.
I swear to you.
What
and
was
I
your-
just
what
can't
was,
let
what
go.
was your worst experience here? What was the worst night you ever had here?
All right, so we had the whole Fox News debacle.
Well, you
right?
weren't here for that.
But I wasn't here. But I dealt with it.
Yeah, that was a
was
bad
just
thing.
awful. I lost my shit. I actually pulled the plug.
For people who don't know what Andrew's talking about, we actually had
every news organization.
we
in
had
the Tri-State
every
area.
single member of the New York press in the studio. We had Fox, we had NBC, ABC, the Associated Press, The Insider, Access Hollywood. Everybody was here. To
WPIX,
Channel
New
11
York,
News, Channel 9 News.
Fox
We literally
5.
had about 30 to 40 news agencies in the room to film a show where Andrew said I could never pull off.
Yeah,
We
I did.
had when this is at the height of Charlie Sheen's fame when he was living with his mistresses. I had them all here in the studio, exclusive interview. Andrew said it would never happen. We got it to happen, except we couldn't air the show because there was no sound.
Yeah,
Yeah. Worst experience.
and I pulled the plug after that.
And then you pulled the plug after that. We had to fire the whole staff.
The whole staff. I fired everybody.
We fired everybody except for me and Shauna.
Yeah, except for you two. Everybody else stayed. But that was a really bad experience.
That was a bad experience.
I'm trying to think who else was really bad. I mean, the Tila Tequila stuff. But
I know,
that was
I know it was
expected.
bad.
What was bad?
When we had the Russian dolls here, and
And-
we rang up like a $2,000.
I didn't ring up a $2,000 bill.
$2,000 tab, and who had a tip?
Who had the tip?
You had to tip.
I had to tip.
You had to tip.
Yeah, because they did not leave a tip.
Yeah.
So I had to
The
call.
Russian dolls. Yeah,
I had to
The Russian
call.
dolls are crazy.
I actually got a call from Mike, telling me there was no tip on a $1,600 bill.
Mike Wright, the
Mike
COO.
Wright, the
yeah,
COO,
stuff,
and
yeah.
I was so embarrassed for what happened. I immediately gave him my credit card, and we had to tip.
But yet
him.
you keep coming back for more.
But I don't consider that like. But that was after the show.
Right.
I'm trying to think like what really happened. Like I mean, there's been shows that I've been. Oh, you know what? When Dina was here, that was bad.
Oh, that
was
the
uncomfortable.
worst. That was the worst show. Okay, I admit that. And what did I say to you before the start of the show?
This is gonna be great.
The best show we ever did.
And it was not the
It
best
was the
show.
worst show.
It was the worst show.
I had an ex. Well, let's not even talk about her because it's such a serious topic. Where I am from 9 to 5, it's such a.
Oh,
my
people
sh-
are saying Bridget B. Bridget B. was great.
That
on
was a
the
great show.
Yeah,
That was a great show.
That brought us such a
But see,
great.
I'm a believer that train wrecks are great shows. You don't believe in that theory. I think the more of a train wreck the show is, the better it is. You're too much of a professional.
I am.
You
yeah.
like great broadcasting.
I do, yeah.
I like it when the room's on fire. that's
I mean, Jersey Shore is popular because people love train wrecks, so I kind of agree with that.
One of our big train wrecks was with the Jersey Shore when we had Angelina here, and she smashed the metal mic over Snooki's boyfriend's mouth and broke his teeth.
By the way, that was not with this company.
That was not with
That
the
was with
GFQ
Shovia.
network. Just for
Oh,
legal
dear
reasons, we
God.
have to
Like-
say that. Yeah, that was a great show. I thought that was a great show. But, all right, so
So anything that's a liability and that could cause
You
you, to
get very
potentially be
nervous.
sued, that's a great show.
before,
I swear to God, I upped our liability insurance when we brought the show on. Swear to God.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You're nervous about
Yeah.
about me. You think I'm a loose cannon.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Shauna, after last week, do you think I'm a loose cannon? Have you lost respect for me after last week's show?
I wouldn't say lost respect.
Something we don't have the same relationship anymore after last week's show. And I'll tell you what, for the last year and a half, Shauna and I have driven in together to do the show. I bring Shauna in from from New Jersey, and I bring her back to Jersey, right? And we've had a very nice relationship. After last week's show, that no longer exists. This. Don't be afraid to speak your mind, because I know I fucked up last week. So Andrew got out of Dodge. That was the smartest thing you ever did, was get the hell out of here last week. So we had these two women on the show, all right? I guess they're, what would you call them? Dominatrix? Is that what they are? Fair to say? So after the show, me, Shauna, and the two dominatrix sit down at the bar for one cocktail before we go home. Then this girl comes into the bar and sits down. Andrew had left at this point. Andrew wasn't buying it. Like, you saw these two girls and you said, fuck this, I'm getting out of here, right?
I was gone. Like, I
There
saw
was
what was going on, and I saw the sitting thing happening beforehand.
You just didn't want any part of what was.
No.
You got a bad vibe.
I had a beer. Sean was like, please stay. And I said, you know what? I'll have a beer. I had a quarter of the beer. I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Wasn't for you.
No.
All right, you made the right move. So I'll tell you what happened. And Shauna,
Yes.
you can
let's
tell
relive this.
you can be honest, because I know I fucked up.
Okay.
So all of a sudden one of their friends comes, and I don't know what it is about redheads, April, but there's something about redheaded women that I go crazy. I go crazy.
Right
It's a
up your
ginger
alley.
thing. It's a ginger thing. I don't know. It's bizarre. It's creepy. So this girl sits down, and did she not have stunning eyes?
Sure, I wasn't really looking
You weren't
at
really.
her.
You weren't feeling it. Your antenna went up. Like, this is bad.
Yeah, I was all more into my Bud Light than I was into getting to know her.
And Shauna's whole thing is, after the show, she wants to go home. Like, she wants to go home.
Do you blame her?
No. And my whole thing is, I want to stay. But I normally go right home, right? In
No,
the past,
you do. Normally,
for the most part,
we
I go
have
right
like
home.
a drink or two, and then
And then we go right
it's
home.
never a problem.
So this girl sits down, and I don't know what happened. I just know about 6 hours later, I was sitting in the VIP room with this girl, getting lap dances from every single girl that works here. My credit card, every credit card I had in my wallet was all over the floor. My cell phone was broken in a million pieces on the floor. My legs were spread open. And I glanced over at Shauna, and the look you gave me was, I'm going to punch you in the face, and I'm going to keep punching you in the face until you die. And I'm not going to stop until your nose is flattened across your ugly face. That I've never seen you look at me like that in your entire life. You were so angry. It was 3:00 in the morning, and I never was so drunk here. And I think I spent about $2,000. Seriously, I think I put $2,000 on my credit card.
That's obscene.
Yeah.
Seriously obscene.
Yeah, it was crazy. it was crazy, and I just saw Shauna sitting there. I'm only right home, and the more I drank, the more she knew she was never going to. What did you think at one point? At what point did you know you were in trouble?
This was like you ordered a drink and it was like 12:30. You're like, at 12:45, this is going to be gone. I was like, it's really not going to be. You milk your drinks. Like, I can chug my beer and be fine in like 2 seconds, but you're not finishing your drink. So there goes 12:45. Here comes 1:30. 2:30 rolls around.
Now, did you see me bonding with this girl at any point where you thought, okay, he's into this girl? Like this.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't trying to cock block you. That's why I was trying.
You won cock block. The way Andrew would have stepped right in. Andrew would have said, "What are you doing with this old guy?" Like Andrew would have been like right there.
Hey, what do you think of a guy in his 50s? He looks great, right?
Andrew would have dove in there so fast that we would have been out of there by 10 o'clock. We would not have been in this bar at 10 o'clock. But you were very passive, so you let it happen. You were allowing it to happen.
I know I failed.
You failed. It's
Jeff
your
Zarian
job.
would
It's
be
your
so
job as
upset
my
with me.
producer to get me out of here. You should have done something. Instead, you let it progress to extreme levels.
We're gonna put this on me now.
So then this is where it gets.
babysitter now.
Yeah, this is where it gets crazy.
Producer / babysitter, is that what I?
So then I start. I was tipping so much. I took my credit card out and was tipping so much. I was tipping $100 to anybody that approached me. If you approached me, you got $100. Anybody so much that when I came in tonight, waitresses were hugging me. I had people. Did you not see it tonight?
God.
Did people in the room not see it? Andrew, did you not see it? When I came in tonight, the staff that works
And
here
I said, "Do you know her?" And you go, "No clue." And you go, "Oh my God, I tipped her $100."
I was tipping. Everyone that works here got $100 from me that night. $2,000 in tips. I'm still getting hugs. There's a line outside that door right now. People waiting to give me a hug. It was out of control. It got to the point where Shauna was outside waiting for me, and I get this text message: "Where the hell are you? I'm standing out on the street." And then, did your heart sink when I offered the girl a ride home?
I mean, I knew it was gonna happen. How else was she supposed to get home? Like all public.
How does that become your problem?
Because this is what you don't understand about getting laid.
Okay.
And this is.
Please explain.
If I don't, at a certain point at 3 a.m, if you tell the girl that she's on her own at 3 a.m, you are now saying to her, "I'm not interested
Let me
in
ask,
you."
did you invite her here?
Tonight?
No,
No,
last week.
she just showed up.
She just showed up.
She
Not
got
your
here
problem.
somehow.
Yeah, it's not your problem.
Yes, but see, you have very homosexual tendencies,
very
which
homosexual.
needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
When you're a straight male, 100% straight,
Yeah.
and you meet a girl that you're very attracted to, you do things like get drunk and try and take them home at 3 a.m. That's what you do. You just don't expect your producer to be in the back seat during that ride.
Yes, that is something
drunk,
you do. But when you're
I was trying to pretend that Shauna wasn't in the back seat. I was so hammered, Shauna, that I actually, although I saw your face in the rearview mirror, I was trying to pretend that you didn't exist and that somehow you would just maybe die of a heart attack or I was hoping that if you died by some massive coronary on the way home, that I could still get you home. I'd still take you to the hospital, but after I got laid.
That's so nice, considering I bought you guys pizza.
Yeah, Shauna even bought us pizza. Yeah, I forgot about that.
After that,
I was so drunk, I actually forgot about that you actually bought us
Wait a
pizza.
minute, you got. First of all, did you get laid? No.
How do you know? I'm not.
You didn't get laid.
It's not your business.
You didn't get
what
laid.
I did. It's none of your business.
I know.
First of all, it's none of your business.
I know. You didn't get laid.
The worst part was that she lived in Jersey City. Not even Jersey City. She lived like in Union County somewhere. She kept saying I live in Jersey City, and it was like some ghetto. But that wasn't the worst.
You didn't get laid.
The worst. I could. You know, I could have.
You didn't.
But I was respectful to Shauna at that point. Could I have not? It was the most awkward moment, Shauna, when we pulled up in front of her apartment, and she and I looked at each other with those loving eyes. And wasn't that the moment when two people were about to make out?
I know. I got out of
Did
the
you
car
feel like
right
we were about to
away.
make out, her and I?
Yeah, we pulled up to her house.
Did we
and
make out, by the way? 'Cause I don't really remember.
I was outside the car. I was like, I want nothing to do with this. They want to say goodbye to each other. That's cool.
Did you
So
think
I
we were
went
going to
out.
make out?
Yeah, I kind of thought it was going to happen.
You thought it was going to happen.
And I really thought I was going to have to walk home.
If you weren't there, do you think that would have been my night? Honestly,
no,
as a woman, as a young girl.
Because doesn't she live with somebody?
She lives with a boyfriend.
Yeah, okay.
But
I
once
didn't
you
wanna
get
say it myself.
no, I would
You
have
weren't
taken
going in
her.
there.
I would have taken her either to a hotel
Oh,
or
yeah.
back to my
That's true.
basement.
That's
April.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Where
A
I take
hotel definitely
all my
would've been
women.
safer.
Where I take all my hoes. where I shoot all my hoes. No. So anyway. So it didn't. I let her out of the car. And it was such an awkward moment. When she got out of the car, now I knew Shauna was free to speak her mind. And I was so afraid of what Shauna was going to say because I knew now it was like 3:30 in the morning. And I never saw Shauna so angry, or I could see the steam coming out of your ears. And we're driving home, and you're trying so hard to be civil to me, but I knew you were upset. And this is when, for the first time since I've known you, and when I say known you, I've known you for what, 7 years, 6 years?
Probably like 6.
6 years. The first time I ever saw you lose your temper. We're driving home. It's now like 4 o'clock in the morning. You can almost start to see the sun coming up. And I look at Shauna, and there's a Wendy's, and I go, I gotta stop at Wendy's and eat. And she went, oh, come on, what the fuck? And I've never seen you get so animated in my life. You finally, for the first time in your life, lost it with me and said, really? Really? Chauncey? Wendy's? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I put up with everything. I put up with the lap dances. I put up with the hose. I put up with all the fucking shit all night. Well, I'm not putting up with a double cheeseburger at 4 a.m. Take me the fuck home. Like, I never saw you get like that for the first time in your life. Soft-spoken, timid, quiet Shauna.
Pretty
you
sure
lost
that
your
was
shit.
a little bit exaggerated, but I did say, really? He went,
Yeah, you were
now?
upset. You
We were
seriously
so
were upset.
close to my car, so close.
Yeah, you were so close to getting home.
And this is like after when we were ordering dinner here. You're like, no, I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
Bullshit. And then I got
See,
you
look,
pizza. You should have been
watch
fine.
It. Hear her voice rising? As she's talking about it, and Shauna's not like this. Her voice is rising. I actually, my eyes got big. I went, whoa. Like, I actually was nervous. I almost said, or maybe we shouldn't go to Wendy's. That's how mad you seemed.
Sorry.
Anyway, so she'll be here in a little while. So
Good.
we'll talk to her. But the point is now, so Shauna sends me a text message today. This morning says, hey, Chauncey, do you mind if I drive myself in today? Has nothing to do with last week. I just want to drive myself in. Like, you're so full of shit. You're so angry at me. And let's face it, we're never driving in together again. Those days are over.
Well, when the winter comes, I'm really going to need you. I don't drive in the
All
snow.
right, but now we can get along better because now I can stay and be an alcoholic, and you can take yourself home.
You could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Find some hose.
Just do me a favor. When you leave, take Andrew with you.
No problem.
All right. So, all right.
Here's my question, though.
Yes.
Now, you're in a bar, and, like, you're a guy, and you're in a bar, and you're picking a girl up or whatever. As a female, I don't understand other females who just meet a guy, and they're like, sure, drive me home. I have no idea whether you're a serial killer or not. It's different than driving yourself and going into somebody's basement. It's like you're in their car.
You got to realize. Look at this girl chugging that beer. Imagine that girl in the back seat. Shauna.
I would have killed
Shauna was
you.
like the buffer. Oh, if you were the girl, if you were Shauna, you would have killed me.
Yeah.
You would have been upset.
I wouldn't have been as quiet as
Yeah.
she was.
I actually
been screaming like you
and
just
she
were.
bought us pizza. She actually said, "I'm gonna run and get you guys pizza." So, anyway, no, you're cool, Shauna. I mean, it's nice of you to try and keep calm as long as you did, but
Like I said, I was trying not to cock block.
I know.
It got to be 3 a.m.
You got it was
can't.
too much. It was
I
too
can't.
much. All right. So now we have an understanding that we need to come here and sub our cars. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Chaunce Hayden Show on the GFQ network, and we're broadcasting live from the Sapphire Gentlemen's Club in New York City, the world's greatest gentlemen's club. And as I promised on the show tonight is Anthony, and how do you say it? Picone? Picone. So Italian. Italians have, it's so hard to pronounce your name because I know it's such an ethnic thing where if you don't pronounce it right, it's like the biggest insult in the world. So I want to make sure I say it right.
I'm American, so I
Oh, and don't. What are you doing? You give me a lap dance? That was the most bizarre thing you've ever done in all the years we've been. That was the most. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I was like, what the
You
hell?
just stuck your ass in my face. As I'm conducting an
like, is he
interview,
trying to
you just
block?
rubbed your ass in my face.
I don't
What
block
was
you.
that? See what I'm saying?
I'm setting him up. His mic fell.
Why can't you just ask
but
me
it's
to
like-
take his mic and move it closer?
I got
Even this is gay. This is such a gay moment. Our knees are rubbing against each other. You're
Take your mic and I'm going home.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
I just got a tooth pulled and my breath is kind of funky, so I don't want to.
The scary part is I'm actually getting turned on by this. Like, I might be gay for Andrew. Like you do it. By the way, you do have great hair. If I was gay, who would not be gay for Andrew? That's if you're gonna do a guy. If you're a straight guy and you're gonna do a guy, who wouldn't want to do Andrew?
I'm not gay.
Even with the goatee, even with the goatee, I think I'd do you. Like if you were gonna pay me,
How do you know I would have sex with you? I would not have sex with you.
Oh, Andrew, come on, stop.
There is
Stop,
no way.
Stop. There's such
I would date
so much
anybody
sexual
without a
tension
soul.
between us. Don't you feel the sexual tension? And I'm totally
it.
straight.
Soulless.
And I feel the sexual tension.
A little bit, Andrew.
Yeah, a little bit, a little
Okay,
bit.
fine.
When you're a guy and you have hair, if I was a guy and my hair like I would actually shave a receding hairline into my head just to not be that attractive. Like that's so attractive.
When you called me today, what was I doing?
He had a mask on his face. He had like one of those facial masks.
As all men should. Very
I was
much.
gonna
Picture this guy with this hair with a facial mask on first thing in the morning. Anyway, it's not about you. So we have guests. So Andy, so you're
Call me Andrew.
I can call you. What can I call you?
Okay.
You called him Andy. You
Andy,
called him
mine's
Andy.
on Andrew. So is it Andrew?
You look like a rocker.
Oh, I am
See, I could
rocking.
never be in a band because of how I look. There's nothing I used to be in a punk rock band actually, when I was like younger.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew. but a guy like you, when you've held on to your looks, like you have that, you've maintained. You're one of those rare guys that you look like a rocket to the day you
I'm
die.
only 28. So.
And look how thin you are. How do you stay thin? Like how do you keep that thin? Do you do it?
Yeah.
Do you do it because you're in a band and you want to look
You
good,
know-
or are you just born that way?
I think I'm born that way. But
See, certain
I know
guys they
because
keep
I'm
their hair and they keep
6'4".
thin.
You
There's
know, I'm
such a-
6'4", so it takes a lot to fill out. I can eat a lot of cheese fries and
You look like you were made genetically to play an instrument.
made to rock.
Made to rock.
That's a great ad, actually.
Made to rock.
Great Gibson guitar ad. Made to
See,
rock.
I'm not made to rock. I got to a certain point where I looked in the mirror
Yeah, but-
and I knew I was no longer made
Hey,
to rock.
Meatloaf was made to rock, and I love the guy. But if he's made to rock,
Then a guy like me can be made to rock. Is that what you're trying to say?
made to rock.
No. See,
There's
Meatloaf.
There's
Meatloaf.
a lot of ugly rockers.
Meatloaf doesn't walk into a bar and people go.
Lemmy.
Lemmy.
Meatloaf is a great. Meatloaf is. I'm a big fan of Meatloaf,
Right, me
but
too.
Meatloaf isn't getting laid if he go because he's
Well,
Meatloaf he might. But
right.
a guy who looks like Meatloaf isn't going to a strip club and getting laid. I don't even have to know what you do for a living. I assume that you are a
Well,
rocker.
I'm not getting laid, but I am a rocker.
Right, because
Well,
you're
I am
because
getting
you're
laid. Getting
because-
laid. I'm
so
not-
you're trying to tell us that you're gay too. In other words, no, your beautiful
Only
wife
on
is here,
Wednesdays.
Beth, who I've known for 20 years, apparently, according to Beth.
Don't age us so long.
No, you guys look like a rock couple, but we're not here to talk about rock. You're here to talk about a TV series that you
Yes,
made.
yes.
Which listen, I know nothing about this, so I'm just going to wing this and tell you what I think it's about, and you tell me if I'm
Okay,
wrong.
sure.
So it's called Superfan.
Yes.
Now, and as soon as I'm wrong, stop me. This is what I think it's about. I think it's about the Jersey band scene and what goes on behind the scenes with the club promoters, the owners, what goes on backstage, the infighting within the band, that kind of stuff. Is that what we're talking about?
It is about. That's more a vehicle for the show.
Right.
I think a lot of people are expecting like a Jersey
We're out
Shore
of
The
time.
Rock.
Next segment is with Apryl. We're going to do, coming up after this will be Guess My Fetish with Apryl Evans. I want to thank Anthony for coming in. And, I'm sorry, that was
great.
inappropriate. You've been waiting so patiently. No, I'm sorry.
And I'm watching you down like martinis by the
Yeah,
gallon.
oh yeah. And you haven't, this is an easy night. We're going
You're
late.
home late tonight. You're going home late tonight. Well, a few years ago, I was playing a show, and this guy came up to me, and he's like, hey, man, I just broke up with my girlfriend today. And I've seen the guy around, and he was kind of a quiet guy, and
Right.
I'm like, cool, there's, you have your pick. He's like, well, I just came out to see you guys, lost some steam, and it's like, no matter how bad my day could be, I just come and see the Benjamins, and you guys kind of fix it for me. And it really hit home with me, and he was serious about it. And I said, there's more to this scene than just playing music, making money, drinking beer, women, men, whatever. It's about people coming together in this temple, so to speak, of rock and roll. And, people come to escape their loneliness. They come to escape their job, their problems, their issues, and they forget about life. And that's what Superfan's about. It's about not only the band, it's about the bartenders, the club owners, the fans, the bar backs.
Can I ask, no disrespect to your beautiful wife, Beth, who I love, but groupies? Because I believe,
I'm a faithful husband, as Beth knows and everyone knows, but when I was younger, women would throw themselves at me, and
that's a Jersey band. You don't have to be.
And you don't have. It happens.
No, but
just,
you wouldn't
just
be
by-
doing your job properly if women
right,
weren't
and that's
throwing
my job.
themselves at it.
And women still throw themselves at me, but it's some
I would
people
like
act
that
on
job.
it. I mean, it's not necessarily about. Sometimes it's not about your music. Sometimes it's about, hey, we think you're hot, or you got swagger on stage, and it's just a
I
thing
think this.
that,
Tell
that
me.
you know, you stand in the street, as a man, and an average guy doesn't get hit on by
Andrew
women.
can't relate to that, by the
Except for
way. As
Andrew.
soon as you say anything about being a man, Andrew gets lost.
But as soon as you put a guitar on somebody, for some reason,
you're a sex
magnet.
object. You're a sex. It's so true. People don't understand. You don't have to be Bon Jovi.
Right.
If you have 5 people in the bar and you have a guitar around your neck, there's a good chance you're getting laid that night.
And that's
right. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And
What is it about
And
a
when I
guitar?
was, when I was a kid, like I was in high school, and I played sports, and everybody did. But as soon as I started
Andrew
playing,
didn't. But I don't mean to keep going back to Andrew, but please, look at him.
As soon as
Sorry.
I started playing, as soon as people saw that I could actually play the guitar and sing, all of a sudden these guys that would pick on me and bully me, the guys on the football team,
Right.
all of a sudden they're like, dude, man, you got some talent. And as a musician, you kind of and girls were all of a sudden flocking to me.
How old were you the
and
first time you realized that playing the guitar was going to get you laid? How old?
16 when I played in the high school auditorium.
Seriously.
And and what happens is you kind of hold on to that. And I was a very skinny guy, and I got picked on a bunch of times, but I had friends, and the people that weren't my friends became my friends because I played an instrument. And I realized throughout life that I don't want to say I used that, but I kind of used that to build self-esteem and to build confidence. Just
Is
like
your-
a pitcher on the Yankees would do the same thing.
Beth, this is a question for your wife. Talk right up to that mic as close as you can get.
Get up on it.
Speaking to the
Come
mic.
on.
How much of a turn on is it when your husband is in a band? Seriously, like is it keep the sex life alive, knowing that other women want him and will do nasty sexual things to him? Doesn't it keep the sex life alive? Like, doesn't it make you feel that you
of
need to
course.
perform for him to keep him?
Well, but no, that's not the reason why I'm performing. I love him, and I'm totally attracted to him sexually. But yes, it is a turn on to see my man up there and watching all those women lust after him. And I'm a girl that stands in the background, and I literally will listen to the other women in the bathrooms going, "Oh my God, did you see that guitar player?
And that
He's so
turns you-
hot.
does
I
that
wanna
get you hot?
fuck him." And I'm like,
And
yay for him.
and in
Yeah,
turn,
dude, yeah, in a way it is a turn on because he's doing an amazing job, and the fact that they're giving that reaction, even better. And he is hot when he's up on stage. You got to come see him one night. He's amazing.
When I'm not on
You'll
stage.
want to
I'm not
fuck
when
him.
I'm on stage.
And I hear that you wanna
What are you
fuck
trying to?
him.
What are you trying to say?
be sexually attracted
Why?
to him, too.
Why?
Well, yeah, but even to see what it is.
Why does it have to be? I have to fuck your husband. Why
asking me.
Why can't you hook me up with one of the groupie? It has to be. I have to have sex with a man.
Done.
Like why can't you say?
Whatever
Why
you want
can't
for
your
the night.
husband? Why can't Anthony say? Listen, as the guitar hero here, because Anthony, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Can't you say to a girl, listen, I want you to see that guy over there, that pathetic guy with that weird hat on, who's just bizarre looking.
think he's talking about himself.
I want you to have sex with him while I watch. And wouldn't girls do that for
If
you?
I throw in while I watch, sure.
Wouldn't women do that for you?
Sure they would.
They would, right?
They would.
It's crazy.
guess
Why
since you're
can't
going home
why
late
can't we
tonight
make
now.
why can't we make that happen? Like, why is that not part of our life? You, or the three of us.
You're driving us back
Like
to
that-
Tonight.
And I don't have Shauna as that lead weight anymore carrying around. So now we can have fun. No, so this show, which is gonna is it gonna air? Like, you made the pilot, you
Shot
filmed
the
it.
pilot-
You're a
we shot the
filmmaker
pilot-
now.
We shot the pilot on a zero budget. Just to backtrack a little bit, we started making movies about a year and a half ago. We shot our first movie called Long Road Home that my brother and I wrote. We knew nothing about the technical process. I've been making movies in my head since I was a kid. It's been an equal passion of mine to music. So we bought some equipment. I learned how to use cameras. I learned about f-stops. I learned about lighting and the creative part you can't teach. So we already had that. And we now you're distracting me with this. Big
So you gotta yell at the you can't yell at the see.
So what were we talking about?
Would you rather that or Andrew sit on my lap again? It was either that or Andrew come over and sit on my lap. What's worse?
So
Yeah.
basically, what were we talking about? I basically learned the entire process from writing to editing to shooting to directing. on my own.
But how hard is it to put it on the air? Like now that you have it,
now we mastered that, and it looks great. We're shopping into networks. We have a few people in California that are looking at it for us, and it's just simply a matter of, hey, I like it or I don't like it.
Can I ask you a question? Why am I not in it? I've been like a staple of the New Jersey nightlife.
Well, who said you're not in it?
So many years. How did I not get asked to be in it?
I have 9 episodes written, and now that I woke up with $100 in my pocket from last night, I think we've already met.
Because I am somewhat honestly insulted that I would just be ignored for this project when I put out a magazine that is in every New Jersey bar that has promoted your band for years.
One of the goals of the show when it gets picked up is to
focus on Chaunce Hayden.
Focus on me. We're gonna have a Chaunce Andrew love scene, and
see, Andrew would like that. Personally, I wish we could do. It always goes back to me, another man. I somehow wish that you would see me with a woman.
Well, you made a good point because
there are no women.
There are no women.
Only Andrew. We call it the company Savior Productions because we want to bring people like yourself and like Freddie that owns Dingbats that let us use his bar for 4 days.
Right.
We want you guys to be part of the show. Tom Janneron owns Bar A. He was he played the club owner in Superfan.
Right.
So we want to bring people, not only actors and musicians, but we want to bring people in the local scene and make them famous with us. I mean, that's the goal. So basically, like, stepping out would be a character in Superfan. We created our own social networking site that is a character in the show.
Just don't involve Andrew, because everything I
Everything
do,
goes
he
back
has
to
to get
Andrew,
involved.
man.
So please, let's keep it between us. After the show, this is what he's going to do. He's going to tell you he's my boss over and over again. He's going to give you his card. He's going to start texting you and emailing you. Please, can we please keep it between us three?
You got it.
And April.
It's like family.
Maybe April.
April's in. We like April.
Chauncey, you're fired. This is the last show.
But I have a new job with Anthony. All right, so just a quick plug. This Sunday night, you're having a screening.
This Sunday night, we're having a premiere at Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey, from 5 to 9. We're going to show the pilot a couple of times. It's a half-hour episode. You just, by the way, watched the trailer a little while ago.
You just saw the trailer before the start of the segment. People have seen it.
You could thank you. You can find us on Facebook. Facebook / Savior Productions. SaviourProductions.com is our website. It's still partially under construction, but we have it up there. And
You're like Colin Farrell a little bit.
Never heard that.
Little bit.
I've heard Paul Stanley, Dave Grohl. I've heard what's that guy from
Jared Leto, maybe?
I've heard what's his name? The guy from, it was in that summer school movie from like the late 80s. Chainsaw. Someone called me Chainsaw.
You're talking about The Breakfast Club?
No.
You're talking about the kid?
That movie Summer School, and there was a kid named Chainsaw, and I was actually on a radio, on the Jersey Guys a couple of years ago. We were on the show, and one of the guys called me Chainsaw, but that was pretty funny.
Yeah, you got a great look. Fuck. I wish I had that look. I wish I had that look.
I married him.
Yeah, you got April. Doesn't he have a great look? Like this is, like this is what you want. You look at me. I hate being in a room.
This is how I wake up. I just
Well, before we end the show, we got to bring April back because we got to play Guess Your Fetish. We want to take a break and then bring April? Really? Really?
So let's go. That's it. The end.
I don't know. You want to keep? You can keep going.
You have anything to say then?
If Beth wants to get naked, we can just throw April the hell out of here and just.
You've tried this one before.
Yeah, did we try this before? Have we?
No, go on for a couple more minutes. We'll take a little break just to get her in, just for the editing, and then we'll come
Beth
right back.
Or?
Right. What do you want to do? You want to get Beth naked? So are we getting Beth naked or are we going to April?
I thought we were going to April. Whoever you want to get naked, we'll get naked. Do you want me to?
Or are we getting
as long
Anthony
as I
naked?
can watch.
Why don't we take a little break just to transition in?
Yeah, he always does that. You know what? Come on, stop the nonsense. This is Andrew. This is what I see. But you know, it took me about a year to understand what this meant.
Do you know he doesn't know where he works? I have to make it simple for him.
Wait, can I just add one thing? Are we still?
Oh yeah, we're still. Of course.
The pilot features two of the head security guards on the Jerry Springer Show, Pete Kelly and Jason Brandstetter, and they've been in a bunch of movies. Nightmare on Elm Street, this new movie Contagion. Pete Kelly's in with Matt Damon. Transformers. 3 or 4.
They're in the pilot.
So
but Chauncey hating of stepping on a magazine again. How did Jerry Springer's?
Next one.
What's that?
Nah, nothing. Doesn't matter. What does it matter? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's.
I know. Listen. You don't have to kiss my ass. I know what I look like.
Speaking of the Foo Fighters, one of our actresses, Erin O'Brien, was in the recent Foo Fighters video, Orlandria.
Yes.
One of my favorite bands like ever.
God, I wish I
and who
was
else?
you. I
Anybody
wish I
else?
was. I wish I was Anthony so bad. I wish I was
Natasha
you.
Comas was on you.
When-
Daisy of Love and Paris Hilton's BFF, and she is in a cat fight that is to die for, and she is so hot, it's not even funny. Girl's beautiful. I think she's even been in Step
When-
Now. And if she hasn't, I'm going to hook her up with you.
Really? Could
We
you?
can make-
You could make that
this work.
happen,
I'll
couldn't
make
you?
it happen.
I'll let you take pictures
All
of
right.
her in your dark
Oh, I get to
basement.
take pictures. See, I'm always the creepy guy taking pictures. I'm never Anthony.
I just have to
I'm
ask.
the creepy guy taking pictures.
Now-
Anthony's getting laid, and I'm the creepy guy in my basement taking pictures. That's my role
when
in
you
life.
say
I have to accept that.
I thought you said shooting people in your basement. I don't know if you meant shooting or shooting.
Oh, well,
that, you know,
it's
I
two
can-
different things. Yeah. Anyway,
Never
okay,
so
we're gonna take a break. Anthony Picone
That's it, baby.
and his wife Beth. Thank you for coming in. The TV series hopefully will air soon called Superfan.
That's right.
We'll be back right after this. We're back. You're listening to the Chaunce Hayden Show live from the Sapphire Gentlemen's Club in New York City, from the VIP room, the world's greatest gentlemen's club. So we're back with my special guest tonight, Apryl Evans, model, and you could be a supermodel, by the way. You have
thank
those
you.
kind of looks.
Oh, really?
I can't imagine.
I don't
I
see
can't
that.
imagine what it's like being you. Can you make a man do anything?
You know what?
What?
No.
What has a man ever rejected you in your life?
Well, it has happened, but right now what I'm dealing with is this one guy, and we hook up. Like
You have a booty call guy.
It's a booty call guy, but like we do dinner too. But it's like not leading into something, and I just don't get it. So I'm like,
But he
What
has
the
sex
fuck?
with you.
Yeah.
Has there
Really
ever
good
been a
sex.
man? Is there any man that you, if you wanted to, wouldn't have sex? Do you think there's a man on earth that, if you wanted to, would say no to sex? That's
I'm
got to be a
sure-
bit. Really?
I'm sure.
Has it
there
ever
are.
happened? Ever?
I can't remember.
No. See, I can't even imagine what that life is like. I can't imagine being able to say to anyone, "I want to have sex with you," and then you have sex with them. I can't imagine it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you? And this is gonna sound. This is such a small.
It's gonna
fucking
sound
world.
gay, isn't it?
No. Did you pose to be in the 7-line calendar?
Yes.
That's my good friend Darren.
ah.
That's so funny.
Oh my god! And I need votes. So
wanna promote it?
What calendar is this?
My buddy Darren from the 7-Line, he has a clothing line, the7line.com. It's a Mets and
Oh, the Mets
sports.
calendar. Yeah,
Yes.
we're going to talk about that. Yeah, so
That's so funny. That's a good friend of mine.
That's really
So where-
really small world.
Yeah.
where can people? What Andrew is talking about that most people watching the show would have no clue.
No, they know. I was just
Can I
promoting
get-
it on Friday.
May I please clarify? You talk about being a professional broadcaster. He just butts in and talks about something so obscure that no one even knows what you're talking about.
But I'm glad he brought it up because I
Yes,
really need
I'm
votes.
glad.
I
I'm
need
glad he
to
brought it
get
up
in
too,
this
but he just does it in
calendar.
such an awkward, bizarre way. What Andrew was referring to in an obscure manner is that you are trying to win votes on the internet to be in the New York Mets baseball team calendar.
Yes.
So where can people go to vote for you to make that happen?
If they go to the7line.com and it's 7 as in the digit 7, so
Yes.
THE7line.com.
Right.
And you go to Calendar Girls, look for Apryl. I'm the only redhead, and we need a redhead in the calendar. So just vote for me and only me, and
And
get
you're going to
me
be
in
a
the
Mets calendar girl.
I am hoping so. I've been a Mets fan my entire life.
So
It's
this
ridiculous.
would be a big deal for you to be. Would you have sex with one of the Mets? Any of the Mets? Like, are you the type of girl that if a New York Met was here and wanted to take you home, you would say yes?
If he was David Wright, then yes.
Jose Reyes, would you sleep with?
Maybe. I'm just
David
I love
Wright?
David Wright.
Yeah.
But
I love him. I call him my baseball husband.
so you have a problem with Puerto Ricans?
Absolutely not.
So
I love them all.
would you sleep with a black man?
Yeah.
Have you?
No.
But
If
you-
I
but
if
you
I
would.
had that like chemistry and
Would
that
you
like
sleep
attraction,
with a ridiculously, disturbingly pale man, where you can actually see his bones through his skin? That he's so pale and sickly looking.
I just dumped my ex-boyfriend who was very pale.
Really?
Yeah.
And notice the story is how you dumped him. That's what happens. So listen, before we end the show, we want to play a game with you. We do it every week now called Guess My Fetish. The way the game works, it goes like this. Andrew, Shauna, and I will
Yes.
take a guess at what your fetish is. We get one question each.
Okay.
Answer it the best you can. Now, after the third round of questions, if we don't get it, you're allowed to give us a hint. As soon as one of us tries to guess and we're wrong, you're out of the competition. Okay, so here we go. Guess my fetish. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
Does it involve a hole in your body?
No.
Okay, Andrew?
Does it involve a hole in your body? I'm gonna go to the stand. Does it involve humiliation?
No.
All right.
Shauna?
Does it involve food?
No.
Does it involve another man?
Like 2 men?
Oh, come on. Oh, yes.
same
Okay.
time?
Does
It
it involve?
involves-
Does it involve 2 men at the same time?
No.
Oh. Does it involve 1 man?
1 man, yes.
All right. Go ahead, Andrew.
Doesn't involve 2 men. Involves 1 man. Does not involve holes.
And
Holes in the body.
does not involve food.
Does not involve food. Does it involve? I don't know. Does
Come on,
it involve?
Andrew.
Does
Answer
it
the
involve?
question.
Does it involve like a like a certain type of guy? Like, is your fetish like certain looks?
That was
I
the
do have
worst
a
question
preference
anyone's ever
on-
asked
on
during this game.
Like,
Guys,
is
but
she
no.
into like
That's
like
so
Asian
vague.
midgets?
What is she supposed to?
No,
like,
no
is-
Asian
you know what I
midget,
mean?
no.
You have to be more specific. Are you into midgets? Is it midgets? Not into midgets. Oh, wait, Shauna, go ahead.
Does it involve role playing?
Yes.
All right. Are you submissive or are you dominant?
Submissive.
Okay, we're getting closer. Andrew?
Does it involve choking?
No.
Oh no,
Shauna?
I'm fresh out of things.
Oh, come on. Ask a stupid question.
If it involves role playing, does it involve anything to do with cops and robbers?
Kind of.
Really? Oh, good question. Shauna, good question. All right. So you like to be handcuffed.
Yeah. That's
Did,
it.
did I get it?
You got it.
I win. I win again. There you go. So your fetish is you like to be handcuffed.
Yes.
So if let's say in some bizarre world you were attractive to me, I would take you home. If I broke out handcuffs and handcuffed you to my bedpost, that would be a turn on for you.
Yeah.
Feet and hands or just hands?
Just hands.
You got to keep your feet.
Yeah.
I couldn't spread you eagle on my bedpost, so you cannot move at all.
No, I have to have
You got to have some. You have
mobilization
the
of the
ability to
feet.
kick.
Yes.
If I'm coming at you with a knife, you got to be able to try and kick the knife out of my hands. Is what you're saying. All right. So that was a great game. I want to thank Apryl Evans and give yourself a plug. Where can people look at you, see you, stalk you?
All right. Well, 2 places. I have a fan page on Facebook, and first of all, it's Apryl with a Y, Apryl Evans, and then also my website, aprylevans.com. You can hear my music, you can see my modeling pictures, all that fun stuff.
So you can sing too.
Yes.
Before we go, can you sing something right now? Show us you can sing. Like sing anything.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We'll just be quiet. Okay, go.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll lay your shit bare.
That's amazing. So why are you not on American Idol? Why can't you be on American Idol?
This is what I'm talking about. Like, and
Because you're as good as any of them.
And the TV show that they were just talking about is really cool because it's going to show real people. American Idol is bullshit, and I've auditioned a bunch of times.
So did you audition for Simon?
No.
You don't even get that far.
No, I auditioned for X Factor this past season. I got past the first round, and then I get to the next round, and it's like fucking 16-year-old girls. And how am I supposed to compete with like, oh look at me, I'm so fucking cute?
But you're stunning. You couldn't get past. That's unbelievable to me.
And that's why these shows are bullshit. I believe that they're rigged. I
Wow.
really do.
There you go. All right. Look at Andrew. Andrew doesn't even care. Andrew doesn't even give a shit. He's like, oh fuck this.
No, I'm talking to Darren right now.
Nice.
By the way, and vote for her on the 7line.com.
Yes. Okay. Well, anyway, I want to thank my guest. I want to thank Anthony Picone from the Benjamins and Superfan producer, director, creator. his beautiful wife, Beth, Andrew Zarian, what's that? Co-producer. Make sure you get all that in so you get laid tonight. I want to thank Andrew Zarian, my boss, and great hair, great goatee, homosexual tendencies. Gotta love him. Great guy. Shauna Thompson, my producer, who now takes her own self into the city. And, of course, my guest tonight who sat in was such a good sport, Apryl Evans. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And we will be back next week broadcasting live from the GFQ studios for the first time. So that will be interesting. What?
You've been at the house.
That didn't count the first time. That's ridiculous. All right. See you next week.